Hello everyone and welcome to World of Holiday. Today we're going to be talking about comic books. Now, I would really like to get into very specific issues, specific things that I have an issue with or that I think are really good in the world of comic books today, but I feel like we need to have a baseline level by what we're talking about, because unless I'm going retro and talking about an old school story that maybe you might enjoy, we gotta stay current. And for some, that's gonna be a rough fucking road. Now, there are a lot of really good comic channels out there, and a lot of them are dedicated, hardcore fans who talk about all of the issues surrounding, well, specifically, one of the major comic makers, Marvel. And I'm going to talk about it a little bit as well, but it's not really going to necessarily always be my focus. Now, I love comics. I read almost every single comic that gets put out by Marvel and DC, at least for the major superheroes. And Marvel has had a bit of an identity crisis for a while, and I'm going to bring you up to speed on what's been going on. You see, one of the big things that you'll always have in comic books is crossovers, where a lot of characters from different books are all coming together for one big, huge event. And Marvel has just been doing it a little bit overboard for a while. Now, sometimes they're good, and sometimes they're just really shit-awful. And when they're really shit-awful, they tend to be super, super shit-awful. And especially when you have it contrasted by something that was really amazing. Now, to take you back in time a bit, we're going to go back to the year 2013. And 2013 was really interesting for Marvel Comics because something seemed to be happening. What was happening? Well, nobody really knew for sure, but there was a ramp-up of all of these interesting events starting to happen. Marvel was already coming out of an event called Civil War, which pit superhero versus superhero. And then also had another one with an invasion and all sorts of different things going on. Way too many events, way too many events. But in the background to this was this overall message that everything was going to die. Nobody really knew what the hell that was supposed to mean. It was hinted at for about 2 years before it really happened. And Everything Dies was a hint at an event in which not just all of the Marvel universe, but all of the Marvel multiverses were going to die. Everything was going to collapse. Everything was going to be different. Now, this is always really hard to pull off because when you're changing something people are so comfortable with and have been growing with for a very long time, if you don't do it right, people reject it. They reject it very strongly. Comic book fans get pissed. We expect very, very high performance from our fucking comic books. We're nerds. That's what we do. But this actually turned out really well. It was headed up by a guy named Jonathan Hickman, who's a hell of a good writer. And everything about it ended up turning out fantastic. The whole event was amazing. I might even just do a video entirely on why I loved Secret Wars so fucking much. It was a hell of a good time. It was wild. Absolutely wild. But everything collapsed and something new came about it. And I'm not really going to ruin it because, honestly, if you can get a chance to read it, you should. And you had, for almost a year, everything about the Marvel Universe was different. And then, at the end of it, because it is comic books, everything kind of went back to the same. Now, a lot of people are pissed, me included, that no hint of anything that happened during this massive event seemed to last. Maybe 2 characters in all of the Marvel Universe even know that it occurred. Even giant cosmic beings, these conceptual godlike deities, all they can usually say is, well, we know something happened, but we don't really know what it was. And let me tell you, that's really fucking annoying. But the sum and total of it is that, well, Secret Wars was incredible. It was a really, really successful comic event. And since then, Marvel has shit the bed. Badly. Now, there are a lot of reasons we can think that this might happen. One of those is that Marvel really wants its movie rights back for X-Men and Fantastic Four. And so they have been phasing out X-Men and Fantastic Four, 2 very, very good, solid books, giving them over to shitty writers in the case of the X-Men, or completely written them out of the story when it comes to the Fantastic Four. That could be one. Another one is possibly because Marvel was bought out by Disney. I don't really know if there's that much validity to that either, but it seems a little strange. So what's the problem? Well, Marvel Comics seems to be obsessed with identity politics and being really ham-fisted with their political message. Now, I previously made a video over on my main channel all about diversity in comic books and how comic books have always been very, very progressive. And that is a good thing because they were doing it with tact and grace, and it seemed to be always pushing forward as an example of how we could change as people. But that tradition today and how they implement it with Marvel right now is awful. It's annoying. It's in your face. There's no more subtlety to it. There's no more carefully trying to craft it. Instead, it's just shitty. And the pinnacle of this is the most recent event called Secret Empire. And Secret Empire was trash. But it was trash before it even happened, too. There was an event, and it was kind of an event, it barely had any fanfare whatsoever, where there was this idea that they had where they would use this reality-shaping cube to change supervillains into other people, believe that they are someone totally different, and live as different people, like physically change not only their bodies, but their minds and their memories into normal people and have them living in this small suburb town. Now, these are the heroes that are supposed to be doing this. And so right away, you have this like, is this going to be a morality play on what happens when a good guy goes too far and loses their way? But no, not really. It's barely mentioned. It barely has any place whatsoever. On top of this, this is a lead into this cosmic cube becoming apparently sentient in the form of a little girl. Oh yeah, let's just turn everything into a little girl because that's not a tired trope in any way, but whatever. And then this little girl is manipulated by the Red Skull, who apparently has Charles Xavier, Professor X's brain in his brain somehow, and he convinces this cosmic cube to change Captain America into effectively a Nazi. Yeah. Now, I know if you're a comic fan, it's not really Nazi. They changed him into Hydra. Hydra is a world terrorist organization that had its roots in Nazi Germany, but was the secret army behind the Nazis, more or less. It's complicated and who cares? Hydra has always been throwaway characters. They've never really been that fucking interesting, except for in Captain America comics, in a very specific point in time where it was kind of interesting. But for the most part, these dumbass guys running around in their green fucking jumpsuits and their yellow bug eye things, dude, no. I mean, no. But so history is now rewritten, and Steve Rogers, Captain America, has always been a secret Hydra agent. Oh, he was a sleeper waiting to be activated or some shit. And Marvel's going back and forth, and they're trying to hint at, like, maybe this is how it always was. Maybe this is how it was supposed to be, or maybe it's not. Maybe this is cosmic influence, maybe it's not. And that could have been, in and of itself, an interesting storyline, but for one book, like for Captain America. See, at the time, the Captain America had, because of a bunch of really stupid, inane shit, he had been changed into an old man, and then he was changed back into a young man, and in the process of that, the Falcon became the new Captain America. And I thought he was pretty good. Some of the writing in it was kind of garbage, but, I mean, I thought that was fine. I'm okay with change. A black flying Captain America, whatever, I'm okay. Fine. Just write it good. That's all I want. Just write it good. So Captain America's back now, and suddenly he's this secret Hydra agent, and he assumes world-domineering power, and as that happens, all of a sudden, all of this stupid shit starts happening. Manhattan is enveloped in a dark, dark dome from the darkness dimension of deep, dark darkness and shit. There's a planetary shield that's been developed by a bunch of other people to protect Earth from aliens, but really all it's doing now is sealing out a bunch of the most powerful people in space, so they have to deal with an alien invasion while the Earth can't be helped by them. The mutants now suddenly have all of, I think it was San Francisco. They've made their own, like, country inside San Francisco, I guess. And then you have some heroes that are running around trying to be like the fucking Underground Railroad, funneling people and Inhumans and all sorts of shit away from Hydra so that they can save them. And all of this happened not in a comic. Yeah, this happened all of a fucking sudden. This is how they wrote this, right? Okay, so he takes power, yeah? Issue ends. Then suddenly, the Secret Empire storyline starts, and this is months later. There's no development, no nothing. All of a sudden, everything that you've known is all fucked up. Some of your favorite heroes are now trapped in the deep, dark dimension of darkness over in Manhattan. All of the X-Men that you like, they're all in this weird political climate over in San Francisco, and they have to pay fealty to fucking Captain America. What? Planetary Shield thing gets extremely tired after only 2 issues, and you're just sitting there wondering for months, when is this ever going to be relevant? When is anybody going to give a shit about this? Furthermore, you're watching the slow suicide of Marvel as they're trying to find some way to make this actually work. And it doesn't work. It never worked. None of it worked at all. This is all heralded up by a guy named Nick Spencer. And Nick, I don't know if it's because they just handed you a big old pile of shit and tried to make you polish it into something new or what, but this didn't work. This didn't work. I'm not giving up on Nick Spencer. Maybe he'll come out with something really great next, but man, to be honest, you're not going to be the next Jonathan Hickman with this one. This was bad. Now, what's even worse than all of that, and one of the reasons why I'm so pissed off at this entire storyline is very, very simple. It's the way it ended. In the end of it, basically, the sentient cosmic cube pulls the memory of the real Captain America out of the ether and makes him. So there's Captain America is back. Doesn't change fashy Captain Hydra back into Captain America. No. That won't do. No, because then Captain America would have to be in the same body as the body who committed all of those atrocities in the comic book, and he would actually have to deal with it on that level. No, we'll make a brand new Captain America so he can be free from the guilt of all the horrible shit that was done with his face. I'm sure they're still going to try and sell it, that he feels that he needs his own redemption story, but it's going to be fucking hollow because of that. Hollow. He didn't really do it. Evil doppelganger, not really me, did it. And by the way, they didn't kill him. He's in a prison. So you know, eventually, some crap fucking writer is going to be like, I'm going to get Captain Hydra out and make him into a big villain. No, please, don't ever make us remember this again. Don't bring this back up. We don't want to remember Secret Empire. We want it to go away. This is what Marvel needs to do, and it's really fucking simple. Stop at the events. Do events, but only do them between like 2 or 3 different books. Something smaller. Even if it is huge, don't make it impact every fucking thing because you kept fucking that up anyway. Focus on the writing. You need to get rid of some of these awful fucking writers that keep writing this absolute fucking garbage. Just fucking trash. And instead get really, really good, talented storytellers. That's really where the whole heart and soul of this is. You need to recapture the wonderment that people feel for comic books, and this is not. There is no fantasy and escapism in ham-fisting this fear of fascism into this overtly long, dramatic, prolonged garbage fucking crossover event that nobody liked to begin with. Don't do that. Bring back the fun. Bring back fun comic books, please. For the love of fucking God, just bring back fun comic books. And if you need to do some progressivism, then fine, man. But find a good, easily digestible way to do it without pissing everyone off. Like, if you feel like we need more strong black female superheroes, well, then make some. Or bring some around that are fucking awesome. I could tell you right now. Like, look, dude, go get me Spectrum, okay? Monica is fucking badass. She's made out of fucking living light. She's cool as shit. That's a great fucking character. Write her into more stories. I'm totally down with that. But for fuck's sake, stop trying to ham-fist America Chavez into our faces. She's a cool fucking character, but what you're doing with her writing is annoying. Like, I get maybe some people really like the America Chavez stuff, and if you do, hey, good, then there's a comic for you. But for me, when I see a really good character just being butchered for the sake of making a political statement through comic books, it gets really annoying. You have to be clever about these things, otherwise people reject it and they get pissed off. And nobody is easier to piss off than comic book nerds. Just saying. Anyway, that's going to be it for World of Holiday today. I hope you enjoyed this quite a bit. I I'm still trying to figure out my whole setup with my cameras and everything. And so the next episode, tomorrow, we're talking about the Inhumans TV show. And I tried doing it with a different setup, so it might look a little bit different. So we'll experiment and see how this goes. But I hope you have a fantastic day, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye, everybody.